Okay, guys, this is a practice for the subject-verb diagramming quiz. And what we're going to start with is crossing out prepositional phrases. Why? Because the subject and the verb can never be found in the prepositional phrase, so you might as well eliminate it. So in number 1, down the street is a prepositional phrase. Why? Because down is a preposition and street is a noun, and prepositional phrases always end in nouns or pronouns. To find it, you could also ask yourself, down what? Down the street. There's your prepositional phrase. That leaves us with finding the verb. The verb is always going to be one of two things, either an action verb or a linking verb. Well, I know the linking verbs are am, are, is, was, were, be, been, and being. I don't see any of those in here. Therefore, it must be an action verb. What is the action? Walked. So I'm going to put that on the right. Then I can ask myself, who walked, to find the subject? The man. There's your answer. You don't need to put old because old is just an adjective describing the man. We're looking for the simple subject or subjects. In the next one, we know that the prepositional phrase is from Macy's. What's the verb? I don't see any linking verbs. No am, are, is, was, were, be, been, or being. It must be an action verb. There it is, bought. Who bought? Meg, Olivia. Two subjects. We call two subjects compound subjects. In the next one, Angela is planning a surprise party for Leah and Katie. There's my prepositional phrase. That leaves me with my verb. I don't see any linking verbs. You might say, well, is a linking verb, and it is if it were by itself. But here, is not by itself. Is with the action verb to plan, planning, which makes is a helping verb when it's with an action verb. So we'll put is planning over here. Who is planning? Angela. She's our subject. If we look at the next one, Matt danced and talked to girls at the social. At the social and two girls are both prepositional phrases. That leaves us with our verbs, two action verbs, danced, talked. Who danced and talked? Matt did. He's our subject. Finally, number 5 is a question, which is a tough one. Can you explain how to solve this problem? I sometimes like to put questions back into statements like you're answering the question. Can you explain? You can explain how to solve this problem. Why do I do that? I'll show you in a minute. It can work either way, though. Let's start with prepositional phrases. There aren't any. Some people say, well, to is a preposition. That's correct, it is, but what do prepositional phrases have to have at the end of them? Nouns. Solving is a verb. That makes to solve not a prepositional phrase. It's something we call an infinitive. We can just kind of put a box around those and leave them alone. They're not going to be the subject or the verb. So now let's find the verb. Explain is an action. Action verb. Does it have a helping verb with it? Yes, it does. When we have it in the statement here, it puts the helping verb and action verb back together again. In a question, like up above, often the helping verbs get split away from the action verbs, and you'll find them at the beginning of the sentence. So if you can just remember that, then you can leave it as a question. Otherwise, sometimes restating it as a statement helps you. So it's still a verb phrase. It still can explain. Who can explain? You can explain. There's your subject.